Hello, you got Mr.
and Mrs.
Smith, the debt-free couple.
And we are based out of North Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yes.
So we just wanted to do a brief introductory video, right? Who are we? Like, where do we come from? Well, I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. He's from North Little Rock, Arkansas. And we actually met going to college, right? We went to Pulaski Technical College in North Little Rock. So we met. We were both single individuals, working jobs, right? Just everyday people. And we are still very much everyday people. You want to take it from there?
I mean, yeah, she was working in Little Rock. I was working in North Little Rock. And, you know, during our journey, just like any relationship starts, you meet a person, then you get to know a person, and you know what things you want in your life. And we saw that in each other. Fast forward, we really took it serious and got married. Everything was on a high. They saw that we were taking the Mr. and Mrs. Smith brand seriously, like literally doing photo shoots, just like the Mr. and Mrs. Smith movie, all of those things. And they were like, wow, I love your relationship, you know, your engagement photos, your wedding photos. So everything was really on a high.
Well, let's also add this before you go into that. In between, you guys, before we got engaged, when we were just dating, we were introduced to a financial education platform.
Absolutely.
See, here's the thing about us. Even though we were both working jobs, we were doing our thing, neither one of us wanted to work jobs.
True.
We knew that a job was not enough. So we always had like that entrepreneurial bone in our body. We've always had that. We just didn't know how to necessarily start. We had some business ventures separately that we were kind of toying with, but it was more so a hobby. Let's just say it was a hobby because we didn't know how to properly run a business. But one thing we agreed on is that a job was not going to cut it. We did not want to work forever, and we did not, want to just work until we die, right? Because we're told you go to school, right? You get a good job, you get an education, and then you work until it's time for you to retire, right? We knew that that wasn't life, and so we wanted to create something different for ourselves. So although we had some things that we were like dipping and dabbling into as it pertains to business, we were introduced to a financial education company that we did not know was going to completely take us to the next level. Just some of the basic principles in being partnered with this company allowed us, when we did get engaged and when we got married, to pay for our wedding 100% debt-free.
Absolutely.
And honeymoon 100% debt-free.
Absolutely. And by doing it that way, it's almost like we got paid to get married. When you think about all of the gifts and the cash that people was giving us, and we paid for everything else out of pocket, it's literally like we got a profit from getting married. And that's coming from two people who had no financial literacy, no background. Even though we met in college, our education was irrelevant or non-existent as it relates to financial literacy. So us embarking on the journey of understanding, okay, even though we didn't grow up with financial knowledge and a financial foundation, that doesn't mean that we have to stay there. So we decided and took it upon ourselves to say, okay, the buck stops with us. We will be that financial foundation that sets the stage and changes the demographics of our family going forward. We will be that generation that creates something that we never had before, and it just gets better from there. So as we got married and we really start understanding the power of marriage, the power of partnership, the power of leaving a legacy, we really took financial education seriously. We understood that personal financial success was more important than building a corporation or working a job to build a corporation for someone else if you weren't doing it for yourself. So we were on a high, which is what I was saying earlier. We were on a high as it relates to people seeing what we were doing, the actions we were taking, the pictures we were taking. And then after we got married, got, to the honeymoon, and a couple months later, right?
I was pregnant. Pregnant. And not only was I just pregnant, y'all, I was pregnant with twins, okay? Our twin boys who are now 4 years old. We got pregnant with them, so everything was going good on top of being pregnant, on top of being newlyweds. Our finances were in order. We were debt free.
Yep.
We were saving. We were, our credit scores were through the roof.
Absolutely.
We were really just doing the dang thing, okay? Just taking all of these principles and being disciplined, and we were really just taking our lives to the next level. So everything was on a high. And then, what do you know? At the end of the year, in November, we had our twins early. Now, they weren't due until the following year in February, but we actually had our twins 2.5 months early, you guys. And if you know anything about prematurity, it's very, very scary because your children or your kid is literally fighting for their lives. So our twins had to stay in the hospital for 2.5 months. 2.5 months. And this was really a time for us to understand the importance of financial literacy and financial education. I want you to just think about it. If you were in the hospital for 2.5 months, or if your child, or if someone very, very close to you were in the hospital for that long, could your bill still get paid on time without ever being late? Without missing a bill? Could you do it financially? See, because we have been applying all of the principles through our financial education company, we were in that position. It actually even afforded me the opportunity to quit my job. If my children are going to be in the hospital for 2.5 months, I am going to be right there with them. And that was our mentality. And financially, we never struggled. Not one time did we worry about the lights being shut off. Not one time did we worry about no income coming in. We didn't worry about anything, you guys. Our sole focus was the well-being of our children.
Gotta love it. And this is what you gotta understand. So at that point, not only did we understand the importance of financial literacy, we also had a newfound appreciation for financial literacy due to the fact that we were living witnesses of financial education and strategies and techniques to create a situation that didn't make us miss a beat, miss a bill, miss a meal. Nothing was missed because of the financial literacy platform and the things we were able to implement. So who wouldn't feel a passion for wanting to help others get in that place? So many times we find people who run into life, battles, and money is something that really hinders them from doing anything. They kind of just come to a halt because of financial situations. Well, we got passionate about really wanting to educate and empower others, and we understood that, okay, the people who need us the most now are our twins, are our children, they're the forefront. So we didn't, and I personally didn't like the idea of asking for permission to see my fellas, asking, can I get off work in order to be at the hospital and they're in the NICU fighting for their lives. So that just really took us to a new height mentally, and the passion continues to grow due to the fact that they're 4 years old and we stopped working jobs earlier in their birth. She left before I did, and I left my job, a couple of months after they were at home. So we understood the importance of it, and that's why we put financial literacy at the forefront of what we do as well as them, because we want to be able to be around them when we deem necessary.
Yes, so 5 years with this financial education company, and we are still very much as passionate about helping people with their finances. You guys, if you go through anything like this, or sometimes even worse, if you get ill or you get diagnosed with something, you need to make sure that finances is the least of your worries. You need to make sure that you are in a good place financially, so that whatever that is that's going on in your life, that is your sole focus, and money is not an issue. Now, what company did we choose, right? What company are we talking about? It is MyEcon,
Absolutely.
The personal financial success company. So you guys, we are EVP Infinity CEOs out of North Little Rock, Arkansas with MyEcon. And what we're going to show you in the next videos and maybe some of the other videos is why we chose MyEcon. Of all of the other companies out there, why do we choose this one? And we will actually be able to really break down how it has changed our lives, okay? So stay tuned to our page, you guys. We are super excited. We're going to share a lot more videos, both about marriage, some things that we learned throughout this journey and that we're still learning to this day. And then, of course, we are going to talk a lot about money, because we feel that that is the foundation for every single relationship. You need to make sure that you are on the same page as it pertains to money and really taking your household, your legacy, your future generations to the next level.
So not only do we want to expand your knowledge and expertise and expand your finances, we're here to expand in general and position everybody to have a personal financial success platform in order to make their situation better and sustain it long term to build generational wealth.
Yes, so stay tuned. That's all we got for you right now. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, signing out.